Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so want to talk a little Laker ball because, of course, we had a nice game last night against the Dallas Mavericks where we really shot the ball well. Our two leading guys led the way, Austin and Luka, with big time stats and big time performances and high efficiency. LeBron James, I think he's settling into the third option, at least for the short term. I don't know how things are going to go going forward as he gets back in shape, but right now he looks very comfortable uh, in the third option. And I think the team is comfortable with it, much more seamless than it was last year. And I think we looked pretty good yesterday, and particularly in the second half, fourth quarter, where we really turned up. Could have been better defensively. I think, I was listening to someone, I don't remember exactly who it was, but they were saying they believe the Lakers do the bare minimum that it takes to win defensively. They don't want to exert too much effort. They'd rather get it on the offensive end. I think that could potentially be establishing bad habits if that's what our approach is going to be. I understand we're talented enough to defeat a lot of teams, but you're not talented enough to defeat OKC. So you got to have a certain humble nature to you as you approach this path, establishing good habits so that you can play the highest level of basketball when it's going to be needed the most. I don't recall the Lakers have been in this position where you are firmly behind the leading team, but probably the second best team in the NBA. And with respect to teams like San Antonio, whom I think are very talented, the Rockets people like a lot, Denver, obviously with Jokic playing, some of the best ball ever. I still think that right now the Lakers are probably the second best team in the Western Conference and the second best team in basketball as a whole. I really believe that right now. Right now. I don't remember the Lakers being in that position too often to where there's a team clearly better than everybody else ready to dominate, and then the Lakers being the team that's next up to probably give them the best fight in the 7-game series. We've seen that scenario play out in the NBA, but not with us being in that position. Not since I've been a basketball fan. I've seen other teams do it though. When Golden State was at the top of the league, and maybe Cleveland was the best team, or I don't remember who the other team was that was like firmly in the second place behind them, and nobody could beat them. But the leading guy, the leading team, so to speak. I don't remember the Lakers ever being in that position, but I do think LeBron might have some experience in that area. And he overcame that team too. He beat the 73-win Warriors. So I'm sure his experience can help us in regards to how to handle that being the case. Because you better than the field, except for that one team that's probably one of the greatest teams ever assembled. Probably going to go on and beat everybody, including you, when it comes down to it. There's a cockiness that comes with that, and then there's a humble nature that comes with that, because you're going to have to see that team. In order to get where you want to go, you're going to have to do the impossible and defeat the impossible squad. So that's why establishing good habits, winning in the utility areas is what I call it, which is everything that's not glamorous. Scoring is glamorous to me. Everything that's not scoring, you got to be good at if you're the Los Angeles Lakers. You can't just say, oh, we're so good we can beat everybody. You can't beat everybody. That's the point. There's a team out there that you legitimately, even if you play your best, don't expect to win a game against. So you gotta come in humble. You gotta come in humble, ready to win on the glass, turning the ball over less, forcing turnovers more, getting good looks, quality shots, hitting your free throws, keeping your fouls low. These are things that need to be done. Keeping people off the offensive glass, getting your second chance rebounds consistently off of missed shots, good rotations, good clock management, good challenge usage and strategy. Like, these things have to be mastered if you want to have any shot at doing the impossible. Your talent will get you somewhere. It won't get you a championship this season. Not unless you're willing to do the dirty work and have each and every possession count. If you take every possession seriously and don't have any frivolous possessions, no unforced turnovers, no selfish play, just very consistent detail-oriented, possession-to-possession accountability, you can maximize your ceiling and maybe be able to do the impossible in overcoming a team like OKC. If you don't, when you get to OKC, if you get further enough to get OKC, they're just going to knock you off like everyone is expecting them to do. If you want to be the team that overcomes the team that's better than you, you got to be more serious about the details than they are. And that starts from the top and it trickles all the way down. This is our responsibility, I think, as the second best team in the NBA. Now, I know people say, well, wait a minute, you're not better than Detroit. I believe we are. Well, wait a minute, you're not better than the Rockets. I believe we are. Well, wait a minute, you're about better than Denver. I believe we are. You're not better than San Antonio. I believe we are. Right now, I think we're better than all of those teams. I really do. But that doesn't mean that we're better in the areas that we need to be in order to defeat all of them or OKC. And basically what I've been seeing is a team that's living off of talent. Yesterday, we won games off of made shots. The ball may not fall. Did you win the other areas that could maximize your potential in winning the basketball game? No. Well, we did not. I thought we utilized our rotations kind of funny against the Clippers. We had a bad shooting night against the Jazz. Like the last 3 games could have teetered the other way if the other team, who we're better than, would have been more attention-oriented and detail-oriented from possession to possession to possession on their end. They could have overcome us if they would have been a little more confident. Dallas last night. The way they were controlling the utility areas, they may have been able to overcome our shooting if they would have been a bit more forceful in the fourth quarter. You know, like these are the type of things that I understand, and I've been saying this for a couple of days now. We're on a 6-game winning streak. We've been playing some crappy teams, and we've been beating them. This road trip, if we carry all these different things that we've been doing not so great into those games, there's a chance you're going to lose against the Toronto Raptors on the road. There's a chance the Boston Celtics going to overcome you on the road. There's a chance you're going to run into the Phoenix Suns, and they're going to overcome you. You know what I mean? We're not, we got the Pelicans coming up next. That's cool. But we got to turn it around the very next night and play against the Suns, who are a high-powered, high-energy team. Are we getting our rest? Are we rotating in a way that preserves our roster? So these are things that, like, we have to be respectful of, because you may be better than most of the field, but you're not better than one. So you have to come in with your hard hat on, your blue-collar attitude. Or you're going to go home at some point. Being all good as you are, you ain't going to end with you having a trophy. And that's unacceptable when you're the Lakers and you're as good as we are right now. Even if there's a team better than us, we better be able to overcome them by being better in terms of the areas that we can control, so that we can maximize our chances of doing something special. And if we're not here to do that, we might as well just stop. LeBron might as well retire. You know what I'm saying? Luka might as well just say, you know what, I'm just going to focus on my stats. Austin Reeves can start thinking about his next contract. You know what I mean? We can start shaving away on some of these players that help us win, because we're no more of a winning team than a Sacramento Kings team if we're not doing everything we can to assure that we can beat somebody that might be better than us, or that definitely is better than us. If you're going to be this good for a reason. And that's how I feel. And so, yeah, that's my approach to this season. And let the chips fall where they may. But we haven't been as detail-oriented as we need to be. We've been relying upon talent, and relying upon the fact that the rosters that we're going up against are just not that good to get victories in this 6-game winning streak. And 6-game winning streak is something to be proud of, but how you win those games determines how well you'll be able to beat a team that may be better than those teams. And I don't think we've been good enough to defeat teams that are better than those teams right now. I don't. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? And the regular season wins is not what this is about. Cup championships ain't NBA championships. We want Larry O'Brien. We can't keep, and I'm going to say this, it's a lot of pressure that I'm applying as a Laker fan, but I think it'll be welcomed by those this applies to. I don't think we can go forward having Luka be the face of our championship level team without capturing the championship, and think that we won't see this as a failure. We need to get the chip. And I understand that there's an OKC out there, but we need to get the chip. When you got Luka Doncic on your team, not getting the chip, having him play several years with the Lakers and not getting the championship is a failure. It's a failure, man. on the organization side of things and on his side of things. We're too good right now to not maximize our potential in that regard. I think that's where we're at. I think that's what the responsibility for our team to now go out and do all of the things necessary to be humble every possession to maximize your opportunity to get in the championship. I think that's what this should be about from here on out. I'm looking at a couple players on my roster that need to go. Jared Vanderbilt. He's getting like 3 straight DNPs. He's too good of an asset in this league for us to be utilizing him that way. And I know JJ hasn't found a way to utilize him. Maybe he hasn't liked what he's seen from him. I haven't either. But when I think about him being, 6'8", capable of guarding smaller players, capable of rebounding at an all-star level, having some defensive greatness within his game. I know his offense is not great at all. But when you talk about a piece like that can play multiple positions, who can fit in other team situations if they have legitimate shooting all the way around him. Just because we can't use him doesn't mean he should be getting DNPs every night. That's not the best way to utilize an asset like that who's only, 28 years old, 27 years old? This is not how you use this. This is not how you manage an asset like this. And I know it's JJ's job to make everybody a cohesive unit that can win, and maybe he found that he can't use Vando that way. It then becomes our responsibility to move Vando off of this team into a situation that he can get into, because at the end of the day, he wouldn't be getting DNPs everywhere. He's just getting DNPs here. So with that being said, he's a valuable enough asset and a sizable enough piece to be able to fit in a lot of situations. We do need to move him. We do. If he were 33 years old, 34 years old, I wouldn't feel that way. If he were 6'2", 6'3", I wouldn't feel that way. But that he's of size, NBA body, and can do the things that he does, him getting 3 straight DNPs is not us best utilizing our asset. We need to move him. Another player we need to move, 2 players we need to move on top of that, are expiring contracts for our vets. We don't need veteran leadership to that degree. If I'm being honest with you, I got LeBron, I got Luka. I don't need Gabe Vincent, I don't need Max Kleber. They're expiring contracts. Those are contracts that are more valuable than maybe the pieces are to a lot of teams. Teams that want to be big free agent players, they'll love to have Gabe Vincent $15 million coming off their books at once. They would love to have Maxi Kleber coming off their books at once. I think about a team like the Boston Celtics, who are probably going to be pivoting toward wanting contracts that they can move upon, whatever they're going to do with the lottery pick that I think they're likely going to probably have, coupled with the fact they're getting Jason Tatum back. They could use a Gabe Vincent contract. That ain't going to hurt them. They don't care about winning or losing. They just want to have the ability to shift toward bringing Jason Tatum what he needs upon returning. That's really what it's about for a team like that. I look at the Clippers, same thing. They suck. They're not going to get better, but everything they have on their team is about contracts. It's not about cohesive basketball for the season. They're punting the season so that they can be free agent players. They could definitely use a Vanderbilt. They could definitely use a Gabe Vincent contract. We ain't talking about the players and the pieces. We're talking about the contracts and how they can be best utilized elsewhere for teams that want to be free agent players. Now, you may say, we want to be free agent players next season, and we like that money coming off our books too. If that's the argument, I hear it. But I think what we got to do right now, looking at how we're starting the season and what we have on our team, is try to maximize every single position, every single roster spot with a player that can be utilized for the betterment of our winning. And I don't think Gabe Vincent can do that. I don't see that. Maybe your coach sees differently. I don't see that. I don't see a guy running around for 23 minutes in a basketball game at 6'3", only hiking up 3 3-point shots, and that's it. He's not getting no assists. He's not getting no boards. He getting shot over. I don't see no purpose for a guy like that on my roster when I know he's an expiring contract that could be better utilized in a contractual situation like what I described. I need to turn him into somebody I can use. So like these are things like, and you know, I say the same thing about Maxi Kleber. I like Maxi for what we're doing, but he's a bit older. He's coming off a very serious injury. He's healthy right now. Cash out time, baby. Cash out time, because he's a body that can be used in a situation and a contract that can come off somebody's books. If he gets hurt again, it's a wrap. Not only can you not use him, but he's older. When he comes back from injury, he's going to be worse. He's healthy right now. You got to move him now. It's time to do it. Bow. Get him out of here. Get whatever you can get for him. Something that you know you can use. So, like, that's part of the responsibility of our organization, to see roster spots that need to improve and pieces that can be better utilized elsewhere that maybe somebody may covet. You know? And so that's really where I'm at with that. Those are the players that need to move. Some people would say Dalton Knecht. Dalton Knecht's a young player. He don't need to go nowhere. I mean, push come to shove, you just have him continuing to get better on your bench. It's no urgency to move him. Not at all. Because I know he's a plus asset as he continues to get better, and his scoring ability, his shooting ability, his athleticism, his rebounding ability, I can utilize that. Now, if I can upgrade, that might not be the worst thing in the world, but the urgency to move him for the betterment of this year's team doesn't exist, in my opinion. I feel more comfortable saying that Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, and Maxi Kleber are the pieces that I'd likely want to package, ship off, and capture value for while they're healthy. Because if they get hurt, they're going to be nuisances to our roster this season, and that's not us maximizing everything we can to ensure we can win the championship right now. Which is really what I'm trying to do. While Austin's playing this well, Luka's firmly in the beginning of his prime. LeBron James still has enough left. I got Ayton playing the best ball maybe he's played in 4 years. I got this new Adu Thero piece that can come replace a couple of them dudes that I'm ultimately pushing off into the sunset. With all his athleticism and his tenacity, he needs to be worked into the equation sooner than later. I think we're dragging our feet, and maybe that's a good strategy for him, but I think that kid needs to be on the floor soon. Sooner than later. His athleticism, his speed can be much better utilized with 15, 20 minutes than Gabe Vincent and whatever Gabe is doing for you. Adu's going to make your team better if you utilize him the way that you utilize Gabe. And I'm just going to be honest with JJ. I understand there's some cons playing a young player this soon, asking him to do whatever it is I'm asking him to do. There's some cons to that, but there's some cons to playing Gabe Vincent in the way that he's being played, in the way that he's running around. You know what I mean? It's who's going to make the team around me better? It's definitely going to be the hyper-athletic, jump out of the gym dude that can speed down the floor and catch lobs. I mean, that's a no-brainer for me. I think that we're underutilizing some of our talent, dumbing ourselves down for some of the opponents, and doesn't have to be that way. Doesn't have to be that way. Such things can be strategy, but such things can also be a nuisance. And when you're trying to capture a championship right now, when you wake up to the understanding that we're as good as we are, there should be no nuisances. None. Not from a roster standpoint, and not from a possession-to-possession standpoint. Not from missing out on practice opportunities or none of that. We need to be hard hat, blue collar if we have any chance of maximizing our ceiling and taking advantage of whatever could be going on around us that may work in our favor in regards to other teams and injuries and stuff like that. Other teams, guys going into the slumps and stuff like that. Other teams in turmoil and things that could be happening. You can capitalize by making sure your ship is run tight. And I think we're doing a B+ job right now, but if we want to win a championship, we need to step it up to an A+ job. Straight up. No more wasted anything. Not when you have the opportunity we have. Next year may not be as good. You may lose Austin in free agency. Maybe there's an injury year to Luka. You may not have the team that you have right now. You got to realize who you are and understand that this might be our best shot in the Luka tenure to get that championship while LeBron still has something left. You understand what I'm saying? While he's still on your roster. Maybe he goes to Golden State next year. Your team ain't going to be as good if he's gone. This is your best chance, as far as you can tell, based on what you've shown yourself through 16 or 17 games of play, to get a championship. This is your best chance. But you're not better than the best team. So you got to be better within what it is you can control. And so that's what I'm saying. I woke up this morning realizing, I got the second best team in the NBA. I don't know if it's going to stay that way. People got to continue to play at a high level, but we can get better. And maybe it's the best time to do that. Some people will say maybe you throw in some picks to assure that you get higher level talent to capitalize that situation. I don't know if that's the best strategy in my mind. It usually isn't. Giving away picks is usually not the best strategy in my mind. It's usually not. But within what it is that we can move, we can get a little better, and maybe that little better may be enough. But I think we got a nice mix of stuff that's working. The chemistry is good. Guys are starting to get comfortable who may not have been a little comfortable before. Guys are happy. All I really need is to assure that the rest of the stuff, the little stuff that needs to be fixed, gets fixed. And no, I'm telling you, no wasted roster spots. That is one of the biggest rules I have in running an organization that's trying to win a championship. If I'm Indiana Pacers, I can afford to have a couple scrubs on the back of my bench because I don't care about winning. But if you're trying to capture winning, actual winning, you can't have 27-year-old defensive players at 6'8" getting DMPs that would otherwise be getting at least 15, 20 minutes on a different squad. You got to move them to that squad and get something you could use. If the idea is to win the championship right now, we shouldn't have anybody on our team that's getting the Vanderbilt treatment. Nobody. That piece should be a young player, hopeful, like Chris Magnon. If he's going to be getting 3 straight DMPs, he can't be somebody in his prime. Even if that prime doesn't seem to be something we could use, we need to capture the value of that prime. And them expiring contracts that ain't really producing, we got to move them too. So, like, this is what I'm thinking, man. I'm talking about this is our best chance at winning a championship, in my opinion. Because once LeBron leaves, we're not the same team. And I think this could be his last year. I pretty much think that he's mulling over that right now. There's word coming out that he's open to taking on a job with somebody's booth. You know what I mean? He wouldn't mind doing a broadcasting job. Once people start talking like that, I think they're closer than we think to their retirement. Him having 13 points in the last game, I don't think he wants to play like this. I don't think he wants to be a third option for too long. He might do it 1 year for a team he thinks he can win a championship with, but he ain't trying to go out like Chris Paul, yo. I'm just being honest with y'all. So my gut tells me LeBron James is done after this year. And we got a chance to win a championship on top of that. So that's why I'm telling people, yo, let's get on the ball. The same urgency that we thought we needed to have to move stuff around to get better when we had AD and Bron, that wasn't the time because we didn't have much of a secure future. Now is the time to project how you're going to be at your best. At what point are you going to be at your best to win a championship and to be able to secure that you're good enough to lead the field? This is when you wake up in the morning and say, yeah, this is now. And if you miss the boat on this, you may not get another better opportunity than this. Right now. And so that's what I'm telling y'all. I mean, I'm telling you that I'm sensing the urgency that everybody's been talking about for the last 3 years this morning. This is the morning when I feel that. While Austin is still on this contract. Because if you have to pay him the way he's playing, you ain't going to be able to fit as much depth on your team as you'll be able to fit in this year. Especially with LeBron James playing at this level. This will be the best chance for us to maximize depth. No wasted roster spots. So that's really what I got to say, man. Urgency is right now for our organization if we're serious. Don't expect it's going to be better just because we're going forward. You know, I liken this to when the Golden State Warriors had their team going on. They had the new arena coming in. They were like, yo, we're just in time for the new arena. We're going to have this great team with this brand new arena. We're moving to San Francisco. The team wasn't going to be as good when they moved to San Francisco. They didn't know that. But the reality was their team was going to go back to mediocre to open their new building. And they ain't won nothing since they left Oakland. The time for them to maximize winning a championship was then, before the new building. This feels like that. It's like, okay, you better know it when it comes. You better know when that opportunity is in place. And right now, right good and now, I think that opportunity is in place. Before Wemby becomes who he's going to be, before Amen Thompson and Alperen Sengun are really ready to win the championship, while Jason Tatum and Halliburton are out and all these players are injured, Kyrie out, the field is ripe for you to capture it now. Once all those people get in better situations, you're not going to be the number 2 team in the West anymore. Jokic's roster around him looks kind of sloppy to me. They're not really competing this year. I'm telling you, the field is soft enough for you to at least get to the Western Conference Finals against OKC and try your hand. That may not be the field you're in next year. Capture that value now. Salute to Kobe Minute. So that's what I'm saying, man. I'm telling you, I think I have a really good feel for this type of stuff. And I think we're good enough to get to the Western Conference Finals, man. I think we're better than the Rockets. I think we're better than San Antonio right now, for now, until Wemby becomes who he's going to become. He's 21 years old. By the time he's 22, 23, 24, 25, it's over. It's going to be his league. It's going to be his league, y'all. So you would be best to try to sneak a championship in before that happens. I know OKC is great. OKC this, OKC that. Hey, like I said, I just think they're firmly better than everybody. You know what I mean? I just do. But that doesn't mean you can't beat that team. LeBron beat that team. You know what I'm saying? That team don't always win the championship. Things happen. What you need to do is be as good as you need to be so that when they happen, you take over. That's what the Pacers did last year. Everybody was so certain Boston is. Who was the other team? Cleveland, that. Them teams fizzled out in the playoffs. They were firmly better than the Pacers, but they weren't as ready as the Pacers. For whatever reasons, from within their control or not. When it came down to it, the Pacers were the team that got to Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Not those teams that were better than them. That's what I'm talking about. Some things just work in your favor. You do what you're supposed to do. And so that's where I think our Laker focus should be from top to bottom. Our coaching staff needs to continue on the path of doing the blue-collar stuff and staying attention-oriented, detail-oriented rather, as it pertains to all of our flaws throughout the course of winning streaks. You can be on a winning streak. It's not time to celebrate pop bottles. It's time to look at what you did wrong within those winning streaks and be attentive to it as if you lost all those damn games. That's how you get as good as we're trying to be. So that's really my point of view, man. I think we're doing a good job. I think we need to do a great job if we want to overcome what's out there. I think we need to do a great job. I think we're winning against bad teams. I think we need to be able to accomplish winning against good teams if we really want to be as good as we ultimately deserve to be for the roster that we have and for the way that team is playing. And staying healthy is important. Obviously, I think we're doing a good job at making sure we're patient and bringing people back, letting people rest when they need to rest. That needs to continue to be the thing. Don't waver on that. It's working. So that's pretty much my point of view, man. I think the Lakers have a great shot at maximizing what they can control and rising above everybody not named OKC. And if things go right for us, we can win the championship. BDL 44, I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.